What if your entire fortune could vanish with the uttering of just one password? Imagine crossing continents, chasing opportunity, only to find yourself ensnared in a nightmare fueled by greed, technology, and betrayal. This isn't the plot of a Hollywood psychological thriller, it's real life. And it might just be the most disturbing crypto crime New York has ever seen. How did an international tourist end up imprisoned, tortured, and terrified inside an upscale Manhattan apartment, while the world outside partied and kept scrolling through their feeds? What does this reveal about the risks lurking at the intersection of money and technology in our hyperconnected age? Tonight, we unravel the wild saga behind the SoHo crypto commune and the chilling case of Michael Carturan, the Italian entrepreneur lured to New York, only to face the darkest side of human nature. And we'll tackle the question at the core. As digital wealth explodes, have we underestimated just how dangerous and vulnerable our new world of borderless money can be? Let's step inside a story where blockchain ambition meets real-world brutality. In the spring of 2024, New York, a glittering capital of finance and technology, was shaken by extraordinary headlines. Police had raided a luxury SoHo apartment, uncovering evidence that read like a script from a twisted crime film. Ransom notes, Polaroids showing violence, a terrified tourist, and a cryptocurrency investor at the center of it all. The alleged perpetrator? John Woltz, 37 years old, a known name in New York's up-and-coming crypto circles. By all outward appearances, he blended seamlessly with Manhattan's tech elite. Luxury rentals, flashy parties, and expensive taste. His downtown apartment reportedly featured stripper poles and Cristal champagne, earning it the nickname Crypto Commune among insiders. The victim, Michael Valentino Teofrasto Carturan, a 28-year-old from Italy. By day, he was a student, entrepreneur, and member of the Italian Permaculture Academy, a promising figure looking for global connections. By night, he became a hostage, his fate hanging on the movement of digital coins. Their relationship started not with violence but with business. Carturan and Woltz had done deals before, forging a partnership that, at first, promised opportunity. But as is so often the case in the high-stakes world of cryptocurrencies, trust is fragile, and fortunes can turn on a single transaction. Weary after a fallout, Carturan returned to Italy. Yet later, perhaps tempted by a new chance or simply a desire to mend things, he accepted Woltz's invitation to New York. The purported reason? Tourism, language immersion, maybe a fresh start for a friendship gone sour. Within hours, the dream had collapsed. Police alleged that instead of welcoming his guest, Woltz seized Carturan's passport and launched a calculated campaign of intimidation. NYPD reports that Carturan endured more than 2 weeks of captivity. Not only was he locked away from the world, he was systematically assaulted and threatened. The details are harrowing. Investigators claim Woltz demanded the password to Carturan's Bitcoin wallet, a simple string of text, but the key to a hidden fortune. When Carturan refused, the ordeal escalated. According to police sources and multiple news outlets, Woltz's methods crossed every line. Polaroids showed Carturan tied up, at times with a gun to his head. Torture devices reportedly littered the apartment, mingling with the evidence of wealth and excess. The Wolf of Wall Street collides with American Psycho, said Assistant District Attorney Michael Matson, summing up the surreal mix of finance and violence the case laid bare. Neighbors, meanwhile, described raucous parties and glamorous guests coming and going at all hours, utterly oblivious to the horrors transpiring next door. One neighbor later confessed, "We just thought it was another tech guy blowing through new money. Nobody had any idea." But there's more. Police found a collection of t-shirts, each emblazoned with an unsettling image. Carturan, crack cocaine in his mouth, immortalized in a twisted trophy. The apartment itself became a stage set for psychological warfare. And it wasn't just Woltz in the frame. Beatrice Folke, his 24-year-old assistant, was taken into custody briefly, accused of playing a role in the ordeal. However, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office later declined prosecution, pending further investigation. The rumor mill spun faster. A Swiss crypto millionaire, another character in this tangled web, was reportedly expected to surrender for questioning. As investigators peeled back the layers, the details kept getting darker. Police allege Woltz threatened to kill Carturan's family in Italy if he didn't comply. Carturan's only means of survival was to feign surrender, biding his time, until a small window of carelessness let him break free and alert a traffic officer on the street. The aftermath stunned the community. A local priest felt compelled to sprinkle holy water over the crypto commune, declaring, "This place needs spiritual cleansing." "How did no one see this coming?" asked one neighbor. What goes on behind those closed doors? But behind the headlines, experts say, lies a deeper, systemic problem. Cryptocurrency was supposed to empower individuals, giving ordinary people control over their money, insulated from the whims of banks and governments. But with great anonymity comes a new set of risks. Sarah Wells, an FBI cybercrime analyst, explains, "We're seeing a steep rise in kidnappings and extortion attempts targeting crypto holders. The anonymity of the blockchain is a double-edged sword. Sure, your bank can't freeze your account, but if someone gets your password, your life savings can disappear in seconds. And sometimes, as this case shows, criminals will stop at nothing." From a security perspective, the challenges are unprecedented. While banks have protocols and insurance, the decentralized, borderless nature of crypto means that once a transfer is made, it's irreversible. There's no customer service hotline, no way to undo a payment made at gunpoint. Former federal prosecutor Marco Mara puts it bluntly, "Torture to access digital wallets is a new frontier for law enforcement. We're entering uncharted territory. No existing digital forensic playbook prepares you for this mix of physical and virtual crime." And as the size of the crypto market explodes, the scale of the problem only grows. Over $2 trillion sits in digital currencies worldwide. That's an irresistible prize for anyone unscrupulous enough to chase it, regardless of the means. But maybe the most vexing question is, what can be done? If password-based wealth is so vulnerable to physical coercion, how can anyone protect themselves? Tech entrepreneurs have floated solutions: dead man's switch apps, decentralized insurance, biometric access controls, but these are in their infancy. Governments, facing a wave of crypto crime, are scrambling for answers. The Waltz case could become a defining moment, pushing regulators to impose new identification rules, stricter transaction monitoring, and more aggressive cybercrime units. Yet, for every step forward, tech-savvy criminals are ready with a workaround. And then there's the human element. Psychologically, the power dynamic of such crimes is unprecedented. Crypto isn't cash in a vault, but a string of words inside your mind. Police and psychologists alike worry, when torture enters the equation, how do you even begin to police this new digital frontier? As the investigation deepens, the cast of characters grows. Was Beatrice Fulci an unwitting participant or something more? What will come from the Swiss crypto millionaire's surrender to the NYPD? And most disturbingly, how many others have fallen victim without their stories ever reaching the headlines? We're left with haunting questions. Are our digital assets ever truly safe? Has the era of password ransom and physical violence over virtual money already begun? For Michael Carturan, the ordeal is thankfully over. For the rest of us, the story may just be beginning. Because as money continues its global digital migration, the playbook for crime and coercion is being rewritten, faster than our laws or ethics can keep up. Now, as prosecutors prepare for one of the most high-profile crypto trials in recent memory, the world is watching and wondering, can the law catch up with technology? Or will human greed and ingenuity always stay one step ahead? What happens next may set the rules for the future of digital wealth, security, and justice itself. As we dive into the aftermath and wider consequences of this harrowing case, it's impossible to shake the sense that the kidnapping of Michael Carturan is more than just another headline crime. It's a warning shot for anyone who's even remotely connected to the world of cryptocurrency. Let's zoom out and ask, what does this brutal incident foreshadow for the future of digital wealth, law enforcement, and personal security? The crime itself reads like a dark thriller, a world where glitzy crypto riches and Manhattan parties mask a violent underbelly. But for investigators, regulators, and everyday crypto investors, the implications are all too real. Sarah Wells, an FBI cybercrime analyst, put it bluntly. The lure of nearly untraceable wealth is irresistible not only to investors but to people willing to use violence to get what they want. In the months following Waltz's arrest, law enforcement agencies, both in the U.S. and abroad, have been sounding the alarm about a dramatic spike in so-called crypto kidnappings. According to a recent Interpol report, kidnappings involving demands for Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies have tripled year over year. Compared to traditional ransom, cryptocurrency is fast, borderless, and in many cases difficult to recover or trace. The Carturan case, in all its brutality, is just the tip of the iceberg. So what does this mean for the future? The legal and technological landscapes are now racing to keep up. Experts like former federal prosecutor Marco Mara warn that using torture to extract a digital password is something the law simply hasn't encountered at scale before. Prosecutors have to navigate unfamiliar digital evidence, and the stakes for missteps are enormous. There's a real possibility, some would say a certainty, that this case will set key legal precedents. Will digital privacy be treated the same as physical property in these cases? Will sentences for crypto-fueled violence be harsher? The Manhattan DA's office is reportedly preparing to use the Carturan evidence, Polaroids, encrypted device data, and even crypto wallet logs to push for stricter sentencing. How the courts decide could shape not just New York, but global policy on crypto-related crime. Technology, too, is on the cusp of a security revolution. In response to cases like this, developers are working on so-called dead man's switch systems. If a crypto holder is forced to share their passphrase, the wallet locks down, triggers alerts, or even drains funds to a safe account. Other teams are designing decentralized insurance protocols, essentially blockchain-powered ransom insurance, to protect digital fortunes. Law enforcement is adapting as well. The NYPD has reportedly begun training a dedicated cyber forensics unit to handle blockchain cases, while Interpol and Europol are forming joint task forces to track digital assets across borders. We're seeing the birth of an entirely new branch of policing, one specializing not in old-fashioned break-ins but high-tech transnational digital heists. But perhaps the most chilling consequence isn't legal or technical, it's personal. If you hold significant crypto assets, you're now a potential target in a way you never were before. The old adage, "Don't talk about your money," is now, "Don't ever reveal your wallet address." Let's pivot to what you can do about it, the practical lessons every viewer needs to take away. Because while most of us aren't visiting Manhattan crypto communes or rubbing elbows with Swiss millionaires, more of us, maybe even you, are moving parts of our financial lives onto the blockchain. First, OPSEC, operational security, rules now apply to everyone, not just hackers. Never publicly disclose the size of your holdings, your wallet details, or even your crypto interests online. A stray comment in a forum, a photo at a Bitcoin conference, or a social media brag can make you a target. Michael Carturan's ordeal began with a simple invitation and a business relationship. The line between friend and predator is growing thinner in the digital age. Second, physical and digital security go hand in hand. Don't store your recovery phrases in your home safe or taped to your laptop. Consider using hardware wallets with built-in tamper protection, and always keep backups in undisclosed locations. For larger holdings, multi-signature wallets, where multiple keys are required to move funds, dramatically reduce the risk of a single point of failure. Third, pay attention to so-called travel rules. If you're visiting a country where you might be targeted for your crypto, take extra precautions. Transfer your funds to cold storage, leave access keys at home, and avoid traveling with large sums available on mobile devices. As Carturan's case demonstrates, travel is now a vulnerability point. Experts recommend that, for substantial sums, crypto holders should consider digital insurance or join trusted networks for emergency response. This may sound paranoid, but as we've seen, the threat is very real and growing. On the legal front, demand more from your exchanges and wallets. Push for regulated platforms with strong KYC, know your customer, and anti-fraud protections. The more transparent and compliant these systems become, the less attractive they'll be to kidnappers and bad actors. From a wider societal perspective, Carturan's story is pushing policymakers to consider bold reforms. The U.S. Congress recently held hearings on the need for federal-level cryptocurrency crime units. Switzerland, home to many crypto millionaires, plans to roll out mandatory safety training for high-value crypto investors. There's even talk of international standards for crypto ransom response, a kind of Interpol for Bitcoin. And for law enforcement, the lessons are sobering. Traditional methods, stakeouts, wiretaps, neighborhood canvassing, don't cut it against blockchain-enabled crime. The new breed of digital investigator needs to parse smart contracts, track wallet hops across blockchains, and infiltrate encrypted chat groups. Cities like New York, London, and Zurich are now in a digital arms race to attract the best cyber talent and build the tools needed to protect their citizens. All of this raises a profound question. Are we, as a society, ready to secure the digital fortunes we're amassing? Or are we sleepwalking into a future where the crime scenes of tomorrow look more like Carturan's SoHo nightmare than last century's bank robbers? Now to the human side of this saga. For Carturan, life will never be the same. Reports indicate that since his escape, he's become an advocate for victim support in the crypto space, calling for victims' compensation programs and practical guidance for people targeted by similar schemes. His trauma and his courage are now part of a growing movement to bring support and resources to this new breed of crime victim. As for Waltz, the legal proceedings will likely drag on for years. Prosecutors are pushing for a severe sentence, as much as 25 years, citing the calculated use of torture and the chilling effect it could have on crypto adoption if left unchecked. If convicted, this will be one of the harshest punishments for a crypto-motivated kidnapping in U.S. history. And all eyes are on the Swiss millionaire expected to surrender. Could there be a wider conspiracy lurking beneath the surface? Communities are still coming to grips with the revelation that such violence was happening behind closed doors in one of New York's poshest neighborhoods. The Catholic priest who blessed the building said, "We all need reminders that greed and evil can hide anywhere, even in the middle of wealth." So here's the answer to the haunting question we asked at the start. How will law enforcement, technology, and legal systems respond to this new kind of crime? They're responding by evolving, faster than ever. Specialized police units, new tech solutions, tougher regulations, and a whole new mindset about personal security. But it's not just up to the authorities. It's up to all of us to stay vigilant, informed, and prepared. Before we close, here's a secret fact even insiders miss. The first ever dead man's switch for crypto wallets was inspired by cases just like Carturan's, meaning your safety tools are being built in the wake of this tragedy, right now, by people learning from these very stories. So what can you do today? Review your crypto security. Talk to your friends and family about the risks of digital wealth. Support laws and tech that protect victims. And most importantly, never let the pursuit of digital riches blind you to the basic rules of trust and safety, even in the glittering, fast-moving world of cryptocurrency. If this story gave you chills or opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, subscribe for future deep dives on the real impact of tech in our everyday lives, and tell us in the comments, would you feel safe investing in cryptocurrency after hearing this? What measures